folks, Dave here, and welcome back to my Minutemen prison settlement build here at Thicket Excavations, which has become a settlement thanks to a mod that unlocks it as a location that you can actually build at. This week in my Let's Build project, I'm going to be working on this prisoner alleyway. This is going to be the upper class prisoner area, if you will, for those that have climbed the ladder, not out of the prison, but just to the top of the food chain. So this is what we're going to be building tonight. Let's roll things back and I'll show you guys how I got started here with Prisoner Alley. Cloudy, overcast day here. Hey, it makes the spotlights look pretty cool. If you guys remember my first couple of build episodes here, this prison is going to be almost like a Chronicles of Riddick tier-based prison system. And up here at the top are going to be some areas where prisoners who maybe don't have an absolutely awful reputation, perhaps they're just disgraced Minutemen, you know, cowards, stuff like that. People who are up here at the top are going to have some decently nice quarters for a gigantic quarry prison. They're probably not going to be working the mines too much, but instead doing things like smuggling goods or helping the Minutemen above, feed the prisoners, stuff like that. You know, kind of the cushier jobs in prison. That's cool. There's some wood trim edges here. Do those snap? Not to that piece. Yeah, you definitely don't want to live down there in the factory quarter. There's going to be some pretty nasty living quarters down there. But what I'm going to do along this upper section is take a couple of these areas like this container right here, and perhaps even some areas right here where the cliff edge is, and we're going to fill in some nice upper class, at least for a prison, living quarters. This first one's going to be built right into this corner. It is going to have some rooftops that go all the way back against this ledge, though. I think that'll look pretty cool. Hopefully you guys can see relatively well with the help of these spotlights. It is a bit dark in this corner. Let's see. I might use traditional wooden walls for these couple of buildings right here. I've also got a mod that I recently found that just came out on Bethesda.net that adds a ton of new pillar options, and I'll show you guys that here shortly. I know it's available on Xbox and PC, but I think it's actually available on PS4 as well, because it doesn't use any new art assets. It just uses in-game items that you can now build for the supports. So I will link that in the description. You guys can check it out. Got this nice half wall piece here. This would actually be an interesting corner piece if we can get it to snap at the right spot. Oh, it's kind of all over the place. Come on. There it is. I'll just raise that up slightly manually. It's backwards, but it gives it a bit of character. I think that's supposed to be like an outer corner. We could almost add a second story up here, couldn't we? Oh yeah. Yeah, we could. Oh, where did that piece go? It snapped to something and disappeared. Oh well. Would they be allowed to have a second story though, or would that be getting too close to some of these ledges? That's an interesting question. How high would the prisoners actually be allowed to build? Let me put up another spotlight over here. Just float it there for a second. There we go. Is that enough power? Yeah, it is. Put you right here for now, so we can see. It's like an actual construction site. Yeah, I don't know, guys. That's getting kind of close to these ledges. Maybe I'll put some barbed wire along the edge there. Yeah, let's build just a bit up here. Got a big second story piece. And then a second one there. And a big second story piece. So I'm going to move these tires for a minute. I'm going to use this box to get this light a little bit higher. I could float it, but my immersion would prefer it if it was on top of the box. Even though it doesn't quite fit. So that's one initial base right there for the first shack. But let me show you guys what I was talking about for the support options. Let's get a base that's floating out here like this. Do 2 sections. So this will be like a almost a penthouse for the prison. If you're up here, you are living large. And I'll connect it with a rickety. Wow, guys, we're gonna need one more light. Did we overload the power? Yep, we overloaded the power. Alright, one more. Let's do a solar panel. I'll move this later because the prisoners wouldn't have their own solar panel, but just for now, to get all of our lights on here. Let's do it like that. Now we can see a bit better. If I go over here to structures, wood and miscellaneous, you guys can see some of the new supports from that mod. Once we get past all of my planks and plywood here, there is quite a bit of planks and plywood. Here we go. The first post right there. Gotta find a good way to hang some stuff off the edge here. A lot of these are pretty straight up and down. These right here, these pier supports though, that's what we're looking for. So let me put a floor down here for me to stand on. Minecraft style. Yep. I like that. Okay. And the dangerous bits here. Lowering the piece I'm standing on. Let's add some supports. If we do it like... Where's the edge of this thing too? If we do it like this, that's a pretty decent amount of support right there. Do 3 of these. This mod works best with place everywhere, but without it, you can use things like the rug glitch, I would imagine, to get extra support. Look at that nice big pillar right there. That's perfect. Log 45 degrees. I'll put one like this. Some very small sticks. I think that's actually a good amount of solid supports right there, guys. Hopefully you can see that. It is pretty dark down here. Yeah. Feels mostly sturdy for a prison. Where's my stairs, though? Let me get back up there. Stairs railing. Stairs clean. Those are cool. Nice. Shack stairs. That's what I'm looking for. I think I can probably just... Okay, that was a little risky. I drifted along the railing for a second and didn't think I was going to stick that landing. So that gives us a little bit of support below. Now we can add some more detailing to our shack and turn this area right here into almost like an alleyway that leads to the rest of the prison. So if you're the new guy here, you're just arriving, you're going to have to go past all of these nice, again, the almost upper class sections to get to your crappy section. Might give this guy snapping on. There we go. This guy right here gets one cinder block wall to help with the noise from what's going to be my kind of illegal bar trading hub that's just allowed to exist here at the top. So he'll get a cinder block wall to help with the noise. Let's see, do we have any other entranceways? Do a couple of balconies off the back. We'll have some corner pieces like this. Maximum real estate. How does that look with the supports? Ooh. Wait. How did I mess those supports up so bad? They all went down all of a sudden. Okay, I'm not going crazy, guys. Those supports were up against the floor a minute ago, weren't they? What is going on there? Alright. Let me walk down there and see what's up. Maybe storing that staircase and floor piece caused them to shift somehow? Very odd. Let's just resize it from back here and put it up against the bottom. Okay. And we can use this piece, which snaps onto the end of the... What is that? The outer wall piece there. Wall divider. That also makes a good, like, junction piece where it looks like it was bolted, you know, to the concrete to help anchor this whole thing. So I'll put a couple of those down, gives it a nice edge detail there. I'm not going to use these scrappier pieces right here, just because I think if this is the, you know, the upper class prisoner area, they're going to have some more solid walls. Maybe even one that's like this. I think that's from Snap and Build. Might be a little too fancy though. There's got a stud wall there. That is the end of the line. Let's actually go over here to one of my new favorite mods. Staining structures. That's where we can get a nice frame piece right here. Let's do this one first. There we go. Nice frame piece. And also a small one like that. And on top of those nice looking frames, we can put the facade. We'll do board and batten for the front. Again, he's got a bit of a nicer house here. Do a solid wall. Privacy is probably much more valuable than like a window or something down here. We'll use a junkier piece here for the small door. That railing is kind of in the way. Can't really use that walkway as the player character, but it looks good. Put a little piece of railing here, perhaps. Don't want to drunkenly fall. Planks and boards. All kinds of planks and boards. That's a really solid plank and board right there. These are really cool. Ceiling beams? Nice. Now my immersion likes all of this right here. It's gonna start looking like The Sims as far as construction ability goes. That's really cool. I wonder if one of these tarp style roofs would work for one of these sections. If I put it down like that. Ooh, not that far. Like that. Does that still look okay? Needs to be moved a bit more. That looks not bad. Gives us a very unique roof piece, that's for sure. I wonder with the studs we have across here, if we can just use these boards as cross boards like this. It does kind of snap to it. This would be cool because it's essentially a handmade roof piece, which makes it 100% unique compared to the others. This is the kind of detail where during final tours when I tell Joel that this isn't a roof prefab piece and I had to hand make all these, he's just horrified. I mean, I'm not going to do it for all of them, obviously, but this is just a cool looking bit of detailing, I think. Worth a little bit of extra time. Need some more planks, though. Probably just the plywood. Yep, stuff like that. And that one over here. And this one over here. Some of those are floating just a bit. Let's fix that. Nifty. Nifty, nifty. Oh, that is a drop all the way down. I keep forgetting about this gap right here. Why did I just make that jump? Okay, I might have landed on that platform, but still way too risky. Yeah, that looks really cool from underneath. Go ahead and get rid of these two boards. Might try and adjust the time of day a bit so we can see a bit better now that we're getting some of the initial shack sections established. Well, before we start detailing these, I want to look at what I want to do with this one right here. Just put a bolt in there for now. I'm gonna leave all this debris and rubble and these boxes and all because I like how it looks nice and scrappy, but I want to seal in the door with a couple of interesting looking pieces, and I think something from the metal category might be the place to look for that. What do we got here? Oh, that accessory support mod added some ladders and stuff too. Cool. Don't want glass. That's one of our 2 door pieces. Let's fit that one on like that. We can scoot it over just a bit. Whoa! Not quite that far. Just like that. And then use a different piece to seal it up. Something that's kind of warped like this one would look good, I think. Might shrink it down 1 unit so we can squeeze it a bit closer inside of the space like that. Yeah, that's, well, basically exactly what I was thinking. So this one right here, this building would be probably the most valuable real estate once you're down inside of the prison here proper. Like, if you've got that metal container, you are living life. That is your own private space, your own private fan. Maybe they would have like a privacy screen over that or something, so you can't just see inside. I like how that looks. Alright. I guess there is one last bit of structure to do, and that's going to be over here at this shack in the corner. Just run through all my wires here. What kind of wall options do we have? And this one is going to use some of the scrappier ones too. Move that piece like that. Already got a floor in the back here, so we don't really need the pieces that have the floor already attached. I do want to use a number of these real scrappy looking pieces. This one though is going to have to go like this. We're starting to run up against the wall here of the quarry. Getting to a point now where I'm gonna have to most likely start putting some roofs on to just give us some snap points, because I've got some irregular spacing on the floor pieces and it's just not wanting to snap correctly onto those. I think this piece right here might be a good reference for the rooftops. So we'll do one like that. Piece like that. I'll put the hole up front though. It'll snap, right? Eh, it's fine for now. Let's do a relatively solid roof off of this side, because it's got to connect, yeah, right there to that edge. And we'll see once we're done here if this is looking a little too boxy, and we can correct that by moving some of the shapes around. Not looking too bad right now, though. Actually don't like how that hole was looking. Let's do that instead. Now this is most definitely in the way. This light tires back over here. Don't fall through. What are you doing? I'm gonna have to put this box up here, it looks like. Alright, light, inside you go, I guess. Let me see what we're doing. Those supports didn't move again, did they? Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, I think these couple of housing units will be plenty to give the effect of the upper class area that I want. Had the bar area, this housing area, and this housing area. And then it'll probably be a little shack here and there on the way down, and then a large living area at the very, very bottom. For this section right here, where I've got this prefab roof piece, I'll put a stairway for walking over it like that. Keep on putting our rooftops across. Which one is not wanting to snap? That one? Do a few of these cloth ones. And then 2 metal ones like that. This is where we can get a little bit creative and get rid of some of the boxy shape by lining some of the wall pieces up like this and leaving some gaps here and there where the roof is going to leak a little bit. So for instance, this piece I'm going to do like this, rotate it quite a bit down and interlock it manually into the corner. Just like they had to build it in here by hand, piece by piece. That piece was just too big though, so let's try some of the smaller roof sections. There we go. They have kind of their own natural shelving right here with the side of the quarry. How does that look from above? Pretty natural, actually, and I don't think that's too high where prisoners trying to climb up would be a huge worry. Not with all the guard towers watching, at least, at all hours of the night. That's really starting to give the top part here a sense of community. You know, I almost don't like this corner piece right here, though. I think that would be better served with a half section. Something like that. That is a much better fit for sure. Perhaps even 2 of those. That is some solid progress. I think it's time to get to our detailing stage. I almost don't like, though, how far out this section goes. Let's try this. Let's end this piece like this. And then I'm going to manually place a piece like that for this corner section. Just because it was sticking so far off the edge that it was looking a little bit awkward and a little bit boxy. There we go. That looks a little bit better in that corner. It's all about breaking up those prefab shapes whenever you can. I can imagine what a really nasty rad storm would do to this place, though, if the ground started shaking too much. Yeah, some of those houses, as valuable as they are because they're at the top of the prison, you know, closest to natural light and all, they could possibly become death traps. But hey, General Dave says, don't go to prison then. I'm going to use basic lights for up here just because we've got so much more to build. I don't want to use up a bunch of my frame rate with lights that cast nice looking shadows. These are good enough. I will be getting rid of these construction lights here shortly too. You get one bare bulb for each floor, even in the nicer housing. It might be kind of a cool effect with this piece right here because it has so many gaps in it, guys. To go back to our structures, wood, miscellaneous, and get some of these barricade pieces, like if we go way to the right here. These. Where it's kind of like they... Wow, these are hard to place. Where it's like they've tried to repair some of those gaps on their own. Again, that gives us even more unique looking wall sections that aren't just picked off the menu in the workshop section. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. That one's kind of clipping weird. There we go. I think a lot of the prisoner beds that are going to be down below are going to be the really simple military cots that are just hanging off the walls. So up here, we're going to have some nicer beds. At least as far as, you know, as I keep saying, a prison goes. Like, whoever's got this little unit right here, he's going to have a real nice bed to himself. For a prison. It's big. And it's his own room, essentially. Everyone else up here is probably going to be sharing their space with a couple of people. But you might still have just a few beds per section of housing. And I'm still going back and forth on how many doors I want to have in these areas, but these higher class 1 and 2 person housing units are going to have doors for sure. Oh, they need a light, don't they? Just because without doors, if you look, it's just right into the walkway here. That's not very special if you're a upper class prisoner and you've worked your way to the top of the food chain. Got a nice shack at the top of the cliffs and no doors. That would kind of be crappy. I like these, what are these, like mental hospital style beds? Someone's got their own alcove back here. It's kind of cozy, right? It's got a hole in the floor. I like that. Can I actually rotate that around and move the hole in the floor? Yeah, I can. Cool. So the leg's not sticking just down through it. This is just, even with a lot of snapping pieces, a visually interesting set of buildings, I think. Because of all of the odd-shaped floors and being built into the corner like this. It's definitely, I think, visually interesting. For interior spaces, I think either snap and build with their shack walls or Stains buildings with the doorways are two really good choices for interior stuff. You can do stuff like that. To give him his own slightly walled off section. This person back here we'll use stain structures for. Put a frame like that. For the facade, we'll do some crappy wood. It's just a little divider, essentially, for his alcove. And put some cool shelves there, I think. You know, if these upper class guys aren't really working in the factory, they might have to do some different kind of work besides just running, you know, smuggling and the bar and stuff like that. So I might give them some workbenches up here. Not weapons workbenches. Not armor smith, because that's got a bunch of knives and stuff. Backpack workbench? That's a possibility. Giving them any kind of major tools is going to be necessary for them to get any real work done. Well, here we go. This would be a high-class job. You're sorting through scrap and loot to send to the surface. Getting the good stuff out. So these guys don't even have to leave their house to do their job, whereas people in the lower class areas have to leave their crappy shacks and go to the factory to work, to create the prefabs. But here, you can just enjoy your own shack and work in peace and quiet to a point. Alright guys, well, we have the main shell of all the buildings in place. I'm going to do a little bit of detailing on my own here because this is a bit of a tedious process. We're going to get some stuff placed, check in with you guys, and then we're going to call it for the night. Why is that clipping through? Close enough. Alright. I'll be back. And we're back. I did something a bit unusual this time. I actually took a break from the build for about a day and came back and did a whole bunch of detailing with a bit more inspiration, and I'm really happy with how things turned out. I'm going to give you guys a quick look around, but I don't want to spoil everything for the final tour, but I do want to show you guys how the detailing went, so you're not left hanging here. I designed this upper story right here as the offices of whatever lead gangster might be in charge here of the prisoner areas down in the prison. He would be someone that the Minutemen would use to keep control down here. Perhaps he'd be in charge of distributing food and stuff like that. Got a little waiting area and his glowing bulbs out front. I like this use of the roof space here where it's just like poorly designed. You have to climb over the rooftop space to get to his desk area, where there's actually a gap in the ceiling, so whoever's here for a meeting just gets rained on. And I figured if the people up here are doing the cushy jobs, they would definitely have posters and stuff like that that would kind of guilt trip the lower class prisoners down below in the quarry to do their work harder, which would mean, of course, that the prisoners up here in the upper sections have to do less work. Yeah, that's what I have going on right here. Some nice shelving on the natural quarry shelf. some plate decorations and more luggage stored up there on the shelf of the quarry again. I liked using all of these shelf spaces as storage shelves, even though these prisoners wouldn't really have a whole lot of personal possessions. It's pretty threadbare, if you will. He's even got an old car seat up here and some books to read. This would probably be where the accountant or bookkeeper or, I don't know, the underling would sleep. The boss wouldn't actually live up here. He'd have that trailer that we're going to see in a minute. But yeah, this is the boss man's, perhaps the underboss, if you will. It's his office space. Some nasty looking soup and some kind of hammer thing, like a statue of a dog or something. And then there's little bathroom and workout area back here just in the back corner. I imagine that most of these toilets wouldn't have running water, even in the quote-unquote upper-class prisoner areas. You've probably got to have your underlings bucket those things out every once in a while. And again, there's how things are looking as you look down the alleyway right here. You see our supports from this shack hanging off of the edge. We're not going to look at the inside of this shack at all because I want to save that for the tour, but that's what the outside looks like with the lighting. Got some graffiti and Norman posters here. I really hope that railing's secure. Long drop. I filled in some more of the gaps in the walkway here with some metal tiles. A really crappy broken door. And this is what that work area looks like. Again, the people who live here are working some cushier jobs. They're not down at the very bottom of the pit working the factory. And the living spaces are small, but, well, I don't think I'd call them cozy, but they're private at least. Not a lot of personal possessions, but some alcohol and some privacy. And then if we go back here, some very simple artwork. You guys saw upstairs that most of the paintings were stuff like the rough edge paintings. A lot of homemade artwork for decorations for the few areas down here that are going to have decorations. And then again here, no decorations at all, no paintings, just someone's personal comic book collection that I imagine they've been smuggling in bit by bit for a long while. This is going to be the prisoner clinic because, again, once you're thrown in this prison, you don't come out. So all the medical services have to be done down here. And I imagine you're going to have to pay for them as well. But we're not going to look inside of this building for now. That's what the outside looks like. Small campfire area. Got some nasty piles of trash with fungus and stuff growing from it. And then this is the underboss's trailer. This is the best of the best as far as accommodations go. He keeps it nice and messy, but it's hard to beat this kind of privacy in a prison, right? You've got an actual door, which is rare down here. He's got some artwork and some sheets and curtains covering his fan. Otherwise, I imagine he'd die from lack of oxygen because of his personal fireplace here. But he's got his own wash basin, his own toilet, his own... There's that rough style painting, looks really good, like it was just nailed to some sticks. He's got some comics going on too, it looks like, including that Watchmen comic. His own pair of slippers, a good sized bed, and a few personal possessions over here, and some neat artwork on the walls. Again, messy and not very exciting as far as personal possessions go, but having this trailer to yourself is definitely a status symbol. Speaking of which, he also controls, well, one of my power lines is missing, it looks like. Yeah, one of the poles is gone. He also controls the switch. I can hit it. Once I reconnect it, he'll control the switch that provides power to some of the lights up here, like that spotlight. Over here we just have some storage. He's got some boards to block the view inside of his trailer. But yeah, guys, as you enter the prison, this is going to be the first area you pass through, past the saloon, and past all of the nice lodgings that you won't get to stay in, and past the underboss's trailer. that's essentially just what I was looking for as far as how I wanted to style this, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this bit of building and kind of almost a mini tour, because I did so much detailing in that extra day of work on that. For now, though, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time.